So the Niners could potentially sign Kirk Cousins for like $1 million, or they could go get Sam Darnold for a lot of money, or they could get Sam Darnold's backup on the practice squad. Daniel Jones was a first-round pick, 6th pick in the draft, got the bag, then proceeded to embarrass himself weekly for like a year and a half until he mercifully got waived by the Giants. Now the Vikings are kind of looking at him as maybe their next reclamation project. The Niners were rumored to be interested too, but didn't. And Jones picked the Vikings. What do you think? As someone maybe like for cheap on a 1-year deal, a little bit younger than Kirk Cousins, got a little bit of pedigree. Funny looking face. I don't know. What do you think?
Funny looking face. Punchable, dare I say. He's got a punchable face. He really does. So Daniel Jones, my biggest thing with Daniel Jones is that I love the athlete Daniel Jones. Very athletic, big arm, big athlete. Everybody laughs at like his viral play of him like tripping on air. But for me, I was like, dog, he left everybody. Like, what quarterbacks do you know that are taking off for 90 plus yards to go score?
Did you ever like run so fast you ran too fast and like get out in front of yourself? I think that's what he ran too fast.
I think he gets excited over the possibility that he's making a successful play, and he gets overwhelmed. I will say Daniel Jones. One thing about Daniel Jones where I don't think that he'll necessarily be a fit is that I think from the neck up, I don't think he's a leader of men. And one thing I'll tell you is that this locker room is a savvy locker room. You got to kind of know how to move as a leader in this locker room. Even if you think about it, there's different layers of guys that all wear the C on their chest that are looked at as leaders, right? You have some guys that are like, it's meritocracy. Hey, it's not about what I say, it's what I do. You got some guys that are there by connection. You have guys that are there that are like spiritually put there. I mean, like as far as like the quarterback is our guy. And I just don't think Daniel Jones knows how to maneuver around the locker room as savvy as ours. I don't think that he would actually get the respect of the locker room. That seemed to be something that was a big problem when he was with the Giants. Necessarily wasn't like a guy that really reached out to his teammates. And then on top of it is, again, Daniel Jones has a really big arm, but he's not accurate. And he can't get the ball out on time. That's a big deal, especially in this offense. So it'd be good to have him just to see, what we could do with another bigger athletic guy. But in my eyes, like you said, if Daniel Jones came here, it would kind of be around the same way I looked at Sam Darnold being here last year.
See, and that's why he's intriguing. Like you just did a great job laying out the negatives. Let me try to lay out the positives, if there are, the pros. If you're looking for the next Sam Darnold, guy who had draft pedigree, was on a bad team, was maybe unfairly blamed for what an awful organization he was drafted into, it would be Daniel Jones. I mean, Darnold was on the Jets, Jones was on the Giants. Those are two like mirror image shit shows. He gets blamed for all their problems. They get rid of him. They don't improve. And then finally you see Darnold in a couple organizations that are competent to good, that don't ask him to do too much. He's at least serviceable, maybe good. We'll see if he can keep it going and what he does in the playoffs. But I feel like Daniel Jones fits that description to a T. And I'm not saying he's going to all of a sudden have 30 touchdown passes next year if he's with the Niners or the Vikings, but he just might if he's in the right situation. Like, we haven't seen him in a good situation. I think you guys keep that in mind.
I mean, I have a friend who laughs at me all the time because I like Daniel Jones. I really do. I like him as a quarterback, right? Yeah. But I just feel as though that he does have the Sam Darnold arc. Like, he's really never been put on a team that's given him a chance, that he's been with good coaching. He's had a good offensive line to protect him. I remember at one point, Daniel Jones was like one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. So he's not protected at all. And then on top of it, you get rid of him, but you get rid of Saquon too. Like, you're not helping him out at all. It's like, how do you expect him to
who was his best receiver to throw to when he was in New York?
It was the guy that he just got. It was like Sterling Shepard's, Malik Neighbors this year, but remember with Sterling Shepard, he's with Tampa now. Don't even have anybody really there. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. So again, this is a guy who's in his 20s. He's big. He's a little mobile, like Darnold, maybe even more mobile than Darnold. He can see. He can throw over the middle. He's cheap. You could get him for a 1-year deal, maybe. And
who's the quarterback over there now?
Where?
With the Giants.
Who
knows? Exactly.
Who knows? They're tanking for whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the thing about he might be just as cheap as Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins can come here, know the system right away, and play immediately if you need him to. Maybe Daniel Jones can't do that because he need to learn the system, but there might actually be, if you're wondering if Brock Purdy's your future, maybe bring in someone else who's not 37, bring in someone who's 27, and just take a look at him. I mean, Brock's still the starter, but Daniel Jones is learning how Brock leads, kind of like how Sam Darnold did. I mean, the same thing. Sam Darnold got to look at Brock for a year, and I think it helped him. He got to also learn a competent system. I think it helped him. So I'd be interested in Daniel Jones. I think the Niners already are.